going into Portugal, it's kind of like, it was a good race, but nothing really significant happened, I'd say.
Yeah. In the last like 3 episodes, I've said I have no memory of this. I had to watch the things back and like see what happened.
Really?
Yeah, I fully just completely forgot what happened.
Yeah, so I think it was Lewis who took pole. Or Valtteri took pole from Lewis from Max. And then... Oh wait, I forgot my notes, that's why.
Yeah, he's using my laptop right now.
Okay, I had already done my notes, but I forgot my laptop. Yeah, so on the first lap, Valtteri took pole, and then on the first lap, Lewis dropped Max over, took Lewis. And then basically, Lewis had to go on the whole hunt Max again. He did manage, the Mercedes obviously had the better pace. And so he was able to bring it back. He was able to win. So Lewis ended up winning. But it was kind of like it's a race you forget.
Yeah. I think I have the image of Lewis overtaking Bottas in my head. Because that was a decent move. I don't have the one of him overtaking Max.
Yeah, but nothing really happened.
Where did Carlos finish, just out of curiosity? Because I forgot to mention in the last race.
Carlos finished P11.
Ah, okay, so...
The only person who did really well here was Lando again, got P4. So, like, in the first few races, Lando got, I think it was P4, P3, P4. And you have to say, like, I think the first half of the season, like, we'll see as we go on, Lando did really, really well.
Yeah, it was easily the third best driver.
I think after the second, when you go into the second half of the season, I think McLaren lost a bit of performance, especially compared to Ferrari.
Yeah, and then Ferrari had an upgrade, I'll mention that.
And then basically you kind of see McLaren drop. And I don't think it's his fault, I think it's just the car didn't give him what he needed.
There's that and like the 14 punctures I'll talk about as well. But in the last race as well, just to mention Emilia Romagna, is it Imola?
Yeah,
Imola, right?
Emilia Romagna Grand Prix.
Sure, that one. Carlos spun his car like 4 times or something, if you remember. That's he spun loads, but he finished 5th still or something. No, not this one, the one before.
Yeah.
He still ended up finishing he got a solid result, to be fair to him. So
yeah, he finished P11.
What?
Yeah, Italy, Emilia Romagna Grand Prix.
No, that's qualifying.
Is it? Oh,
yeah,
sorry. Apologies.
I was gonna say
yeah, he finished P5.
Yeah, okay, there we go. I got it right. Where did he finish afterwards then? Wait, what was Portugal? So it was actually P11?
Yeah.
Okay, alright.
But we have to mention that up to this point, pretty much, in the first few races, it was just Nikita Mazepin spinning everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
How did you forget that?
Every time. I think he's...
How did you forget that? Literally, his first 2 races in Formula 1 was just him going... Wee!
He crashed at the...
Like, Bahrain was just so funny.
He crashed in the first, turn 4 it was. Because I remember vividly, you know the image of the straight just before turn 4, and then Grosjean going off and having his accident.
Yeah.
Mazepin was last, and he spun off the other way. And I remember getting flashbacks, seeing a Haas spinning off in the background. But it was just him spinning into the barriers.
Yeah. Did he hit into the barrier?
Yeah, I think he might. I can't remember if he retired, but it wasn't great from him.
No, I think he did retire because he didn't actually. He had to wait to finish a race until his second or third race. Spain was actually an interesting race because Mercedes had the edge, but Verstappen, what happened into turn 1, Lewis took pole, into turn 1, Verstappen overtook him again. Yeah, he did the thing again. He just ran really wide and then Lewis had to back off to save his front wing. Yeah, and but from then on, Mercedes actually put a very impressive, what was it? So what happened was Spain, I'm trying to remember. I think it was a 2-stop. Yeah, it was a 2-stop. So they did Hungary 2019. The Hungary 2019. So Lewis ran and then he pitted at the very end and he was 20 seconds behind Max. And he managed to get him obviously he was gaining 2 seconds per lap. And he managed the overtake and then was very easy because Max was just on very, very, very old tires. Yeah, they knew he had to. But it was a good kind of strategy call. I think up to this point, strategy-wise, Mercedes have done really well. And you kind of like, yeah, Red Bull are putting up a fight, but I think up to this point everyone's like, yeah, but Ferrari put up a fight. To this point, they're gonna drop off. Mercedes is gonna stay strong. This was kind of up to this point. That was kind of the thought. Even I thought like up to this point, does Red Bull have the pace? I think with the next few races, everyone kind of changed their mind about, because for the next race, obviously in Spain, who else did well? Charles got P4, Carlos P7, Lando P8, Daniel P6. Daniel had like very bad races, as in like, you know, he yo-yoed between like bad, then he'd have like a good result, be like, I'm understanding the car, then he'd go like P15 the next race, be like
yeah, it wasn't even a bad result like a P9, he'd just go down to like P16, disappear.
Yeah, you don't like this is the weird thing, because you can obviously the car has the pace, but where is it going? Like, it's like he's never driven a Formula 1 car before. I think my friend who listens to this podcast is a massive Daniel Ricciardo fan. He's gonna get very upset.
When did he start watching F1?
Last year.
So he even missed Pete Ricciardo.
Yeah, this is his first season watching, and I think I called him a Max Verstappen fan, and then I kept like we were talking about how Daniel Ricciardo was driving really badly, and he just messaged me. He's like, "Don't talk about Daniel like that. Don't you dare. He's a great driver." I was like, "Yeah, but no." His performances don't say that. You know? Monaco was the first race where Monaco was actually a very interesting race. So Charles took pole, which was very unexpected.
Yeah.
Because this was the first race where you actually saw Ferrari had good pace with the tracks that had like slower corners. They generally had better pace. McLaren had the better pace at like the race tracks with like quicker corners and like. As kind of like a general rule.
Yeah.
So he took pole. Charles took pole. Verstappen P2 and Carlos P3. Carlos was going on quite a good lap at the end, and then Charles sent it into the barrier, and like.
It's so unfortunate, you know, his record crashing at
Monaco. It's kind
crashing at street tracks in general. I guess Baku as well.
Yeah.
It's rough for him.
It is kind of funny. That every time he's never finished a Monaco Grand Prix so far.
Yeah, that includes his junior career as well, which is an insane stat, because that was his junior career. Then Sauber, it wasn't his fault, his brakes failed. Then what else happened?
Ferrari, he crashed into the barrier.
What, in 2019?
No, in 2021.
Oh yeah, because there wasn't a race in 2020. I can't remember what happened in 2019, but he didn't finish.
I don't remember. So anyways, Charles crashed. He had an issue with his gearbox. On the formation lap, he had to retire the car, which is sad. I think if he would have changed his gearbox. Is it 5 or 10 place? Good.
5.
So realistically speaking, he might not have gotten pole, but he'd have gotten good points.
Yeah, and if they could recover his car, if he didn't crash or whatever, that's P1 in Monaco. You're basically gonna win.
Yeah, but I think they were like, oh, let's try and see if he can get use the car. But obviously there was an issue with the gearbox, and they ended up losing all the points, which I think is like, you know, if he breaks the curse, maybe then you'll be okay. But the curse still lives.
Charles Leclerc to win next year.
Monaco.
Yeah.
Sure, but this was the first race where I saw Mercedes just completely off pace.
Yeah, they bottled it with both cars. Well, yeah.
Valtteri was okay. Valtteri wasn't.
No, well, what I mean by bottled it with Valtteri is different.
Yeah, so I think So Valtteri, he was P3. So Valtteri was P3 for qualifying. Carlos was P4. And then, wait, is this actually it's Monaco? I have to check.
That's qualifying as well.
Yeah, I know. I'm checking qualifying. So Valtteri started technically P2 and Carlos started technically P3. And then what happened was Lewis started like P7.
Yeah, Lewis was
completely off the pace. Now this is the surprising thing, that he's being outpaced by Valtteri Bottas. Like this is the point where you're like, something is very wrong. I think it's because, you know, what's her name? His physio didn't give him his drugs.
Angela didn't hand him
the drugs. Yeah. We spoke about this. Jos Verstappen thought Angela gave Lewis drugs. That's why he's performing very well. I don't get that.
Still ridiculous.
How would the drugs improve him? Because the car is the one that, like, his reaction time obviously matters, but if he takes drugs, it's not gonna help him really. Anyways.
Oh, bro, it's just part of the Red Bull media circus, to be honest. It's awful behaviour, but
moving on.
Still off the pace,
yeah. Lewis would end up finishing P7 after he was overcut by Gasly. He was stuck behind Gasly and he was overcut by Sebastian. Sebastian did perform really well this week.
This was the start of him doing decent. There was also the Stroll clip that was as Vettel came out the pits and they were all coming up the hill together. Lance Stroll.
It was
crashed.
Gasly and Sebastian was side by side out of. And then
the only bit of action in the entire race.
And then they switched to Stroll coming out of the pits.
That became a big meme though. To be fair, I saw like not just F1 Twitter meme. Like that was a meme everywhere.
You know why it happened? Because Formula One have basically their own crew that they're in charge of directing the races. But Monaco is the only race where they bring in their own team to do it. And you can tell they don't know what they're doing.
A rogue race director, you might say.
They don't know.
You might call him Michael Massey.
You don't know. They honestly have no clue what they're doing. But Max had like a clear...
I'm so fucking stupid.
Max had clear pace from the beginning. He'd go on to win from P1, no trouble. Relaxed race for him. I think he took like fastest lap as well.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Lewis just like, Lewis is just like sad, bro.
Yeah, I mean this was. I'm not sure. Like, there's just we were never really given a reason for the lack of pace. We just don't know what happened.
I think maybe he didn't get his strokes. That's why.
I mean, there were questions of. I'm assuming it's just the Mercedes setup. We saw this later on.
But Valtteri came P3, so.
He didn't come P3 though, did he?
No, well, he would have been qualifying. He would have been P3
until he
essentially
had the world's longest pit stop.
Yeah, I think it lasted like they had to take the car back to the factory to remove the tire from the car.
So it was like over 2 days, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But
imagine it took 2 days for his pit stop to end.
It's so bad, but no.
He was
to be fair to Bottas, he got the strategy right. I mean the setup right.
Even his like pace. That's one weird thing because I thought like they generally share like their setup and stuff. Yeah. Like with Nico and Lewis, they obviously did not share anything. That was highly competitive. But Valtteri and Lewis, they do share this information. So I'm confused why Lewis didn't like if his car is that slow. Why didn't you just go have a look and be like, so Valtteri, what have you done?
Yeah, it was weird. I'm pretty sure they even to try and, because obviously there's rumors that Max gets the good chassis and then Perez gets the shit one, or the bad one. So I think Mercedes at some point in the year, I can't remember where, they swapped the.
I think it was at Monaco. They swapped it at Monaco. So Lewis's chassis was doing well, and then they switched it at Monaco, and then Lewis was, and Valtteri did really well. So I think it was.
I can't remember if it was Monaco, but
I think it was Monaco. This was the first time Max Verstappen ever took the lead of the World Championship.
Oh yeah,
it was a big point for him. You have to say, taking the lead of the championship, this
gives him a bit of hope.
Yeah.